Hello, and welcome to your next set of videos for the workshop on hormonal balance and sexual health. As usual, we start with the know program, and then the action program will follow. Once a week, I'll be showing you this graph to orientate you as to where you are on the self-health journey. Currently, still on the second step. As you can see with the yellow background, we are working through the 5 health pillars to improve your physical health and improve mental health. We've dealt with nutrition, movement, and rest, and the last 2 of the 5 are hormonal balance and sexual health. Thereafter, we'll move forward through the various steps and the therapeutic layers of the self-health journey and how they are linked and how these are all tied together will become more obvious. I don't want to go and spend time right at the start of this journey explaining how the linkages work, but it will become apparent to you as we move forward in the journey. Hormonal balance. I'll explain what is meant by balance as far as hormones in your bloodstream are concerned. And then we'll talk about the hormones that you need to be checking, and then the effects of having hormones out of balance. Hormones are chemicals produced in our bodies, and they circulate in our bloodstream to tissues and cells where there are receptors, where these chemicals act, and they cause different effects which are manifest in many different ways. Our ongoing health, reproduction, growth, metabolism are all dependent on our hormones being in balance. By being in balance, what that means is that you shouldn't have too much or too little of the hormone that is dealing with a particular action in your body. There are actually feedback systems in our body that will cause our hormones to go up or to come down in response to certain things that will stimulate these feedback loops. By having a state of balance, we call it homeostasis, the state of balance that all of our hormones are actually working within, is extremely important for our physical health and our mental health from the time we are born until the time when we die. Every single minute of our life is acted upon by these hormones being in balance or out of balance. These multiple feedback loops are working simultaneously. Endocrinologists, specialists in hormones, spend many years studying, as do medical doctors, not to the same extent, how these feedback loops work and how they actually impact upon each other. And you are not expected to know any of the details. You just need to know that it is important to allow for the natural tendency of all our hormones to stay balanced, and whenever necessary, we need to step in and correct anomalies if possible. By this, I mean, if you remove the cause of the imbalance, almost always the balance returns. And whenever it is absolutely necessary, then action must be taken to correct an imbalance where just by removing the cause, balance is not restored. Certain hormones tend to go out of balance more commonly because of our overeating habits, stressful living, and so on. And we should be checking on these, and especially if we suspect something is not right. So your doctor will commonly check for hormones which are produced in different glands. I've listed some of the hormones on these tables, but I'm not going to go into detail. I just want you to be aware that it is a number of hormones, and these are produced by different glands. They have different names, and they have different effects. Some of these are there, and they balance with each other, like insulin and glucagon, and they are working with your blood sugar, for example. And it is for your doctor to be checking these. It isn't for you to be checking them, but I just want you to be aware of the number of glands and the various hormones, just for you to have a look at those names. As far as the imbalanced hormone effects, there are quite a few different problems caused by hormonal imbalance, and these are known as symptoms or signs if your doctor is having to diagnose, and they're not always specific to a certain hormone problem. It might be that your symptom could be from a hormone imbalance, or it could be something else. But you need to be aware of the various types of problems caused by hormonal imbalance, so that it then leads you to go and have a visit at your doctor where hormonal levels can be checked. And if you suspect that it could be a hormonal problem, then go and have the levels checked. In any event, your doctor will be checking certain hormones on an annual basis as part of your annual checkup once you get past a certain age. So the effects of imbalanced hormones are in different groups. You have metabolic disorders. This is to do with the way in which your body is using energy. As you might remember from the previous workshop, your metabolism has to do with whether your body is burning the calories faster or slower, whether it's absorbing the energy that you are ingesting faster or slower. There were also growth problems, sexual dysfunction problems, cardiovascular problems, appetite issues, and mood and sleeping disorders. So looking at metabolic disorders first, you have issues such as being overweight or obese, which may be related to hormonal imbalance, or severe underweight situations, diabetes, and then also just having a very slow and lethargic way in your daily activities. Growth disorders, if the hormonal imbalance happens in childhood, may result in very tall or a deficiency in height. It could be manifests in sudden hair growth in places where there wasn't hair before, or hair loss, and then also may cause bone weakness and muscle weakness. Sexual dysfunction, this can manifest as erectile problems or sexual libido disorders, vaginal problems, and then menstrual problems and infertility issues. Cardiovascular system diseases such as hypertension, heart disease, and strokes could also be caused by hormonal imbalance. Appetite issues such as overeating and a number of eating disorders can be promoted by hormonal imbalance. And then mood and sleeping disorders such as anxiety and depression, decreased self-esteem, insomnia, and tiredness and fatigue could all be tied to certain hormonal imbalances as well. So you now understand that hormones play a vital role in your physical and mental well-being. The natural balance of all the hormones in your body is of vital importance, and some hormones tend to go out of balance and need to be checked. And we'll get to the action part about checking and about what to do with regards to these hormones that could be causing problems. And these problems are then those effects that were listed, which may and should alert you, should you suffer from any of those problems, to going to your doctor and having those checked. So what you now need to know is exactly how and when to check your hormonal balance, and if needed, how to then restore that balance. And remember, if you're waiting until you feel talented enough to make it, you'll never make it. Actions will take you onto hormonal balance, and this will be in the action items. And let's keep going.